Oh, full power again. Well, I say again. Full power for once. So guys, how are you doing today? As you can tell, once again, the bike has full power. This is not a temporary thing. It seems like it's okay. Again, I've had a lot of coffee and I apologise, but yesterday I took it to GJD. Again, fucking fantastic. Thank you, John. Spent 3.5 hours up on the ramp, this thing did. Gutted. I wasn't gutted, I was fucking happy. I was gutted when I paid, but fucking fuel tank came off, the carbs came out, the airbox came out, everything came out. Everything fucking came out. We diagnosed the problem. No, I'll stick with we. Because when I first noticed shit was happening with this bike, I thought maybe it's shit in the petrol tank. Because it had been sat there for about 10 years. Between 2008 and 2018, it did 600 miles. So, yeah, there was shit in the tank. It was like paint chippings, bits of rust, and it was going down the fuel line, which had pretty much clogged up the fuel line, straight into the carbs. It had completely fucked the carbs up. He sprayed a bit of compressed air into the carbs, and this red mist just fucking flew out of them. And that was rust. That was just fucking so much rust. So yeah, to stop that happening again, to try and stop that happening again, it has been fitted with a fuel filter, basically going from the fuel line going from the fuel tap to the carbs. It's been chopped in half, and it's had a filter stuck onto it. So that should catch all the little and hopefully the big bits of rust which have been fucking up the carbs. So in theory it should solve the issue, but he did say it has a 50-50 chance of not solving the issue. Oh, it's so much better. Yeah, 50-50 chance of stalling the issue. So if it does start doing it again, I need to buy a new tank. Which, bear in mind, these bikes are not rare. In fact, you could say they're common, and yes, I forgot the word for common. These bikes are just dime a dozen, really. So if it comes to it and I need to buy a new tank, it shouldn't be that hard. Of course, that is if the problem persists, which in theory it shouldn't. Hopefully, I fucking hope so. I can't afford to buy a tank at the moment. I mean, like I said, they'll be easy to come by, but I got my last pay from my old job on last Friday, and I won't get paid for another month at this job. And you think, oh, that's normal. Yeah, it is normal, but I didn't get full pay from my old job because I didn't work a full month. I worked 2 weeks after being paid, plus a week's holiday that I didn't take, which they paid me for. So I'm quite a bit down this month. Like, money wise, I'm struggling, and I just spent a lot of money getting this sorted out. So I fucking hope that it does actually sort it. But what else got done on that day? The throttle was as stiff as a priest cock in a nursery, so he sorted that out. It's now got a bit of play to it. It's a lot smoother, it's so much better, and it doesn't stick wide open anymore, which is always good. The head brace bearing was way too tight. Like, when you get the bike, when you get the front wheel in the air, your handlebars just meant to flop to one side, just go but these didn't. Once you got the front wheel in the air, you could move the handlebars just about, and then they would stay there. So he loosened that off, tightened up the mirrors. That one didn't tighten very well, obviously, because I can just see my face in that mirror. But that one works now, which is good. I tightened the chain while it was up as well, so that's all sorted. Fuck me, what else did he do? Oh yeah, he replaced the fuel lines, all of them. And for some reason, after we fixed the issue with the carbs being blocked, they just started pissing out petrol. So fucking pulled the carbs apart, and one of the seals around the top of the carb had a massive chunk missing out of it. It was about 2 inches of seal missing out of it, so I'm surprised it actually worked. But again, that's sorted now. And the connector for the fuel line going onto the carbs, the connector was pissing out petrol as well. So we sorted that out. So much work. It took, like I said, 3.5 hours up on the ramp getting sorted. But at the moment, she runs okay. I had a little bit, well, not a little bit, I had a big problem starting the bike leaving work. It took me 10 minutes. It didn't want to start. It did not want to start at all. And I think that might be because I left my indicator and the lights on when I turned the bike off. So even though the bike is off, they still draw a bit of power. So I think I need to start remembering to turn all the lights and indicators off when I'm not using the bike, just so it's not draining that little bit of power out the battery. So yeah, there was a lot wrong with this bike. Oh, I should not have done 700 miles last week. Fuck me, it's idling at 3,500. I'm gonna have to pull over and fiddle with that. Jesus, it should be idling on maybe 1.5, at most 2, not 3.5. Obviously that's when I started it up. It was idling way too low, so I fucked about with the idle there. So I'm gonna have to pull over and fuck about with the idle again. Oh, I hate carbs. I hate carbs so much. That fuel injection is so much fucking easier. You start the bike up, it runs. That's it. Carbs, you start the bike up, you've got to fucking fiddle with everything. You've got to clean them out regularly. It's a lot of effort. Do I have time to fiddle? I do. That's a bit better. On the upside, the idle, the little knob for the idle is very easy to get to when you're sat on the bike. Oh, I think it might rain. I've put my hoodie in my bag. I say that like the hoodie will fucking protect me from the rain. It doesn't. It does fuck all. It just makes me feel like I'm wearing something that might be a little bit waterproof. I don't have waterproofs. The only waterproofs I have ever owned have been gloves. That was it. It is going to piss it down, I think. I'm not even wearing my waterproof gloves. Oh, I'm meant to be going down to the pub tonight. I don't want to get home soaking wet. Come on, motorcycle Jesus, protect me from the rain. Am I going to need petrol as well? Fuck, I did not plan very well today. Today was interesting. I had, because I'm now working with like bike gear and everything, I'm getting training for it. So this morning I had RI training and AGV training, and then this afternoon I had Dainese training. So my brain is just fucking fried. It is, oh man, it's packed in there. There's too much knowledge. And I was trying to move some of the bikes back into the store when we closed, and I ran over my foot 3 times with the same fucking bike, nearly dropped it twice. Do you want to know what bike it is? Fucking Panigale. You don't want to be dropping a fucking Panigale because you ran over your own damn foot. Don't ask me how I ran over my foot, because I can't fucking work it out. But it happened. Then when I was fucking getting all my gear on to leave work, I put everything in my bag, did my bag up, then undid my bag, put my notebook and everything in it, did it back up, undid it, took my keys out, did it back up, undid it, put my wallet in it, did it back up. Oh my god, it took fucking ages. And then obviously I had fucking 10 minutes trying to start this thing, and the idle's going fucking mental as well. Oh god, it's been a weird day. It's just been fucking weird. Now, bearing in mind I work in a bike shop, I dealt with one customer today. I was doing so much fucking training that by the time it had all finished, it was closing time. So I just had to deal with one customer and then put everything away. All day. One fucking customer all day. Is, like I said, it's been a weird day. But yeah, despite all this weird shit today, it's been a really good day. I'm really enjoying this job now. My face just got wet. Oh, they sprayed their fucking windscreen washer. I thought it was raining. I thought motorcycle Jesus forsaken me. Forsaken? Forsook. Forsaked. It's one of them, I know that. Now I'll just pull in here and sort out my idle. I will proceed to the route, just give me a damn minute. Where is it? There it is. That's bit at 1.5. That's what you want. She's running properly again, and you know what? I'm starting to like her. I think we might be starting to bond. Oh, she'll have to have a name soon, won't she? Now, when this bike wasn't running right, it was horrible. It felt horrible. It felt like I was steering with the back wheel because of the fucking head brace bearing being so tight. But now I've actually got things sorted. I'm getting used to it. I'm starting to enjoy it. It's still not something I'm going to be throwing around the back roads at 120 mile an hour, mainly because it probably won't do 120. It's not something I'm going to be throwing round corners doing like 90 to 100 mile an hour everywhere, because like I said in the last video, it's not built for that, and it doesn't make you want to. Every now and then I give it a bit more than I should, but I don't trust these tyres, because like I said in the last video, god they're old. I'll get some new tyres on. I'm probably gonna go for tyres I've used before, so it's something I know, because I know exactly how the tyres should perform, so I can then know how the bike performs without the tyres, well, despite the tyres, and then I can get a proper feel for the bike, see how it handles rather than how these tyres handle, if you get what I'm saying. You might not, I'm not entirely sure what I said. Anyway, I think I'll leave it there for now, because I have noticed when I'm riding home from work, or when I'm doing this route, I've done it a few times, I'll record an hour-and-a-half long video or an hour-long video talking the entire way, and I've got to cut that down to about 10 minutes to actually be a usable video. So I think if I do a little bit of the route every now and then, it'll be a bit better than trying to edit down an hour long down to 10 minutes, because I lose so much stuff when I do that. So many little nuggets of knowledge, nuggets of wisdom, nuggets of genius that just get thrown in the bin. So anyway guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and what do you think of this bike, by the way? Have any of you actually had one of these, or what do you think of them? Because like I said, I'm starting to like it, and after I start doing things to it, I'll like it a whole lot more. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. What the fuck are they doing?